What? Why are you shaking your head? You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the final points, or I guess we're going to call this starting points. I don't know what we're doing. This is some sort of points.
The starting points at top now, Joe.
We're
officially starting.
We're starting the week on waivers, but we're finishing the week in terms of start sit. So, all right. It's both final points and starting points. I'm Joe.
I have a feeling we're going to get more waiver wire questions.
I don't even know how many we're going to get after week one, Tom. You never know with that. There's not a whole lot of must adds out there, which is a little bit. It can get a little sneakier because there's some really intriguing players. Tom, I want to start with some of the news and the reactions that you're going to have. Let's start with tonight's game. The Chicago Bears, Rashawn Johnson is inactive, but they did not elevate any running back off the practice squad, which means that they're going to go with just DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai. If you have a league where you can pick up a guy right now and Monangai is not rostered, I would go get him right now and just speculatively add him if you can do that. I don't know if there's if you can, maybe you're in a league where you can drop somebody who was already used. That's well worth a speculative add right now, Tom. I would think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good sign for them that they didn't elevate anybody else. That means they trust this guy. He was a late round pick out of Rutgers, and obviously they think he can handle a pretty big workload. You know, as a second back behind DeAndre Swift, I would imagine. Swift is going to handle the vast majority of touches in this backfield. I know Gus Logue likes his over receptions, over 2.5 receptions tonight. But Monangai, he's probably worth a speculative add here. Something happens, if this foot injury for Rashawn Johnson turns out to be something that lingers for a little bit, maybe Monangai can build a little bit of momentum and kind of firmly establish himself as the number 2 running back here.
Yeah, so definitely worth a stash if possible. On the flip side, Christian Darrisaw is out for the Vikings, so Darrisaw being out is not great news for JJ McCarthy in his debut. I don't know exactly how much this Bears defense is going to challenge him, but certainly something to keep an eye on there, Tom. And then right before we came on air, we got a couple pieces of ominous news from San Francisco, which is, I mean, all news from San Francisco is ominous these days, but George Kittle's going to miss, it looks, 2 to 4, 3 to 5 weeks with that hamstring injury. They ruled him out immediately. Look, I have Kittle, just like, I mean, come on. What?
First game of the year. I mean, I know it's going to happen with George Kittle. He's done this for most of his career, but man, right after he got off to a great start too, he scores the touchdown, 4 catches right off the bat. Looks like, those Kittle bags that I packed all summer are going to be very nice here. And boom, we're already going to have Kittle out till October, it looks like, Joe.
Yeah.
So,
and
unfortunately,
if you haven't heard, Brock Purdy is dealing with a non-throwing shoulder injury and a toe injury. According to Nick Wagoner, who covers the 49ers, the toe is worse. And let me tell you, I know toe injuries, it sounds like, as somebody who's like dealt with toe pain in the last year, God, man, it sucks. You can't walk, it's like, it's really bad. And I don't know how tough these guys are, but it's pretty, I mean, Tom, it's going to be awful. Now, the question becomes, how big a downgrade from Brock Purdy is Mac Jones? Hell, I mean, when it came to Brian Thomas Jr., Mac Jones was an upgrade over Trevor Lawrence. And well, after 1 week, I'm not necessarily willing to say Trevor Lawrence is an upgrade over Mac Jones in that department. So yeah, at least they have a good backup.
Yeah, Brock Purdy played at a pretty high level last year, but we've seen quarterbacks come into the system and have some success. And I would not be surprised if they take a very, just after everything that they've dealt with all training camp with all these injuries, they're signing Kendrick Bourne today. No game in the NFL is a bye week here, but this week against the Saints is as close as it's going to get. And the fact that this is week 2, I could see them taking it easy on Purdy. Mac Jones is a guy that they went out and they sought. There was a lot of talk back during the draft when they selected Trey Lance that Kyle Shanahan was the one that really wanted Mac Jones in that draft. So maybe this is the opportunity to get a little look at him. And I would probably put Purdy, a little bit more on the less than 50% chance of playing this weekend.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, look, Mac Jones, there's a lot of talk that Kyle Shanahan galaxy brained himself into drafting Trey Lance, right? Like, and who knows, Mac Jones might well have turned into what Brock Purdy is now if Mac Jones was their quarterback. So you always wonder the way things break. Anyway, we're going to be doing this show every Monday. Tom, this is probably a little less busy than I anticipated for week 1, sight unseen, just because there weren't any like, oh my God, you have got to go out and get this guy type of players. But I do see some questions lined up from some subscribers who think that there are some other interesting players. And here is one that is going to be very popular. Yeah. Alfredo, good evening, gentlemen. As an Njoku owner, how concerned should I be about Fannin? How much fab are you willing to put on him? Thank you. I mean, I think you should be moderate to highly concerned. This was very clearly their game plan. But Njoku was on the field too. It wasn't like that. He was
on the field more too. I think it was like 79% of the routes to 60% for Fannin. Also in this situation, Joe, like, I don't know if I'm necessarily chasing Fannin on top of Njoku. Yeah. You get both of those guys and you spend a lot of fab, and then you're like, I don't know which guy to use. Yeah, exactly. And you're playing that game all season long. So I would just kind of suck it up if I were you. Maybe you can get Fannin for cheap, and maybe you can flip Njoku. But honestly, if I was an Njoku owner, I really wouldn't want to have Fannin on my team, because it's going to be a nightmare for you. Trying to pick which guy to play each week.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody, by the way, this week who's a must pick up, right? No. Like, I really don't. But we can navigate that. It's really on a case-by-case basis. You're right, Tom. I mean, if I'm a Kittle team, I mean, I think Fannin is a must pick up, but if I have Njoku, I'm probably sitting this one out, or put a couple bucks down. Maybe he sneaks through the waiver wire. People are like, I don't want to have Browns. He's their second tight end. I'm not picking him up. So maybe you get him as a surprise, but not a decision I'd want to be making every week. So good question, Alfredo. A couple of bucks, I would say, for in your situation.
As you said, Joe, if you're a Bowers owner and you're a little concerned for Monday, or certainly a Kittle owner at this point, maybe you spend a lot more than what you would be willing to spend as an Njoku owner.
Quadruple for Stevens. Hello, guys. 6 points TD past the league. Got Dak in May. Nervous about Cowboys as a whole. Can't win this league without a stud QB. Is Fields for real? Do I stay put? I would not be freaking out about Dak after week 1. As a matter of fact, he probably looked better than I anticipated he would look coming off the injury.
I know our film guys were raving about him. Brett Whitefield, thought the zip was back on some of his passes, and heck, he even looked a little bit more nimble in the pocket, buying a little bit more time in creating. So we went into that matchup last week knowing that the Eagles was, not the matchup that you want to be starting your quarterbacks against. They gave up more than 20 fantasy points in just 2 games last year. So I wouldn't be. And Joe, if you think about it, I mean, all those drops in that game, I mean, Dak probably should have come through for not a top end option for fantasy, but he could have snuck into the back end of the top 12 if he had a little bit better luck with some of those drops from CeeDee Lamb. So I would not be panicking, but I also wouldn't mind picking up Justin Fields right now. He looked pretty darn good, and we know he's going to run.
I don't know if I want to drop. I wouldn't drop Dak. If I was going to drop any, I don't know. I'm probably leaning towards staying put. I don't want to freak out after. And by the way, this is a 6-point touchdown pass league, which in theory actually hurts Justin Fields.
Yeah, levels the field with them. Yep.
Because his cheat code is the rushing touchdowns. Is Justin Fields for real? I mean, what is this? His 6th year in the league, 5th year in the league, like 3rd team. I mean, I need
one receiver. He's got Garrett Wilson. If he goes down or is banged up at all, who is he going to throw to? But Fields is never. I don't think he's ever going to be like a top 3 option for fantasy, but he has shown, some potential for fantasy just on a per drop back basis. So, Joe, I honestly would still go Dak over Fields heading into week 2, even though Dak didn't put up a lot of points in week 1.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And what about Fields or May? I think I'm still sticking with my priors with May. There were some people, I need to rewatch that game. There were some people who were like Drake May fraud alert. And then, I mean, you look at the box score and you're like, wasn't that bad. Like, but I guess you have to watch the game a little bit deeper. But yeah, I mean, the Patriots just weren't very good offensively in general.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we had this discussion all summer long. All these quarterbacks in the like QB 6 to QB 18 range were all very interchangeable in drafts. That's why we didn't mind waiting at quarterback if you didn't get one of the top guys, and it's how it kind of played out in week 1 here. A lot of the studs were at the top of the board. I mean, May could be the top scoring guy out of those 3 guys this week. Dak could be nothing would be surprising. So I'm not necessarily hitting the panic button if I have Dak and Drake May right now.
Bango Lancer, non-PPR. Do I drop Engram for one of the following? Fannin, Henry, Strange, Ertz, Juwan, Ertz. Strange Ertz.
Strange Ertz.
I like Hunter Henry the best of these.
Yeah. Man, it's non-PPR.
Which hurts fan.
Ertz has been a touchdown scoring machine since the end of last season. He scored like 7 or 8 touchdowns in his last.
He scored again.
Yeah, he scored again. And I think the Commanders are going to put up the most points in this group. So I would lean slightly to Ertz here.
Okay. All right. I would lean towards Hunter Henry. I love Hunter Henry. But nonetheless, a very good. Let's go to Justin's question first, good friend. I'll show that. Is Fannin a must add? Is Fannin, Booty, or Quentin Johnston worth using my number 4 waiver wire priority in a 12-team rolling waivers league? Current tight ends are Loveland and Ertz. I'd probably stick with those 2.
Yeah,
right now.
Can
drop Waddy Marks or Jerome Ford.
Ford is a guy I'm dropping this week.
Just dropped Jerome Ford. Now, is Booty, Quentin Johnston worth a number 4 waiver priority?
I wouldn't. I'm one of those guys. I'd kind of rather wait for a stud running back, and like you have to think if you're the 4th guy this week,
you might be 1 or 2 next week.
Yeah, you might slide up a position or 2. I don't. As we were saying at the top, Joe, it's not like a slam dunk waiver wire. We usually have like slam dunk waiver wires early in the season. Unfortunately, there's usually a bunch of injuries like in the first couple of weeks, and for the most part, it was kind of clean this weekend. So outside of those 49ers, so I would hold on to the waiver priority and see if you can't pick up one of those guys after they run.
All right, then we'll go to Henry. Xavier Worthy down. Is Juju now worth snagging? I'd rather take a 0. I swear to God, I hate Juju Smith-Schuster. I mean,
it's a brutal matchup here too. Got the Eagles this week. I don't think Worthy's. If I bet he would probably miss this week, but I don't. Doesn't seem like it's going to be an extended absence. So, yeah, I mean, that is just if you need a 1 week fill in, I would look at Juju. Other than that, I'd look somewhere else on the waiver wire. I don't think
I'd rather have like Kayshon Boutte than Juju.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'd rather have just to go back to Justin's question, I'd rather have Quentin Johnston than Juju at this
absolutely.
point.
Yeah, no, Juju is just like a 1 week fill in. If we know Xavier Worthy is going to be out, he can get you 5 catches for 50 yards and maybe score you a touchdown.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey. Brian Newman, half PPR, offered S. Sigs for K. Walker. Is this fair value after Sunday? This is a losing fantasy trade. Trading Kenneth Walker low
for a 32
now unless this means unless he offered Stephon Diggs for Kenneth Walker, you would be winning that trade, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd much rather have Ken Walker moving forward here. We drafted him multiple rounds ahead, but there's no doubt, watching that first game there, it was much more of a rotation. Walker was ahead of Charbonnet for much of last season. Not necessarily the case this week. So, but I'm not packing my bags on Walker just yet. I mean, the whole offense looked bad. They need to find ways to get some explosiveness in the offense. Ken Walker's the best way
Yeah.
to do that.
All right. Let's go to Micah 2189. How much fab for Fannin with Kittle out? I'm still saying 15 to 20%.
That's what
maybe.
I was thinking. 15 was like the number that first popped. Like, I'm not one of those that wants to spend a whole shit ton of fab on the tight end position. And at the end of the day, this is still the freaking Browns. We like them while Flacco's at quarterback, but Dylan Gabriel is going to be the quarterback at some point. Njoku's still in the mix here. Jerry Jeudy's still in the mix. So, this is like a 10 to 15% fab bid for me.
Yeah. Let's see here. Link. Hey, I love Zelda. Would you drop Ollie Gordon for Monangai as a stash? I mean, Tom, week 1 is not time for overreacting, but like, what positive can you possibly take from the Miami Dolphins?
Not a whole lot. I mean, maybe if you're an Ollie Gordon owner, you're like, well, maybe you should try
and here's
to
the other
pound
part.
the ball with Ollie Gordon. I don't know.
Let's say Monangai comes in and absolutely freaking sucks tonight. Who's going to be rushing to pick up Ollie Gordon? You can just probably go back and get him again. So now I think I would do this.
Yeah. I mean, Gordon, I do the waiver wire. I listed him as just like a handcuff stash at this point. Didn't sound like Achane had any sort of setback in that game. So I don't mind flipping it and seeing if you get lucky here tonight.
DD Big 77. Drop Scatterbo for Samson or Hollywood Brown PPR league.
Yeah, that's
the thing about Scatterbo is like if Tyrone Tracy gets hurt, he could be a true bell cow. But did you see him out there? The guy has no regard for his physical health, man.
He's just a bull.
Yeah, like which one do you prefer here? I mean, I think straight up, I probably prefer Hollywood Brown just because, like, that's who I would prefer.
I can.
But
use
do you need a running back more?
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of expect Judkins to jump to the top of that depth chart here. Maybe not this week, but maybe by week 3 or 4. So, but then again, Hollywood, you're just going to get like the next 5 weeks and maybe not even that long once Worthy gets back and, Hollywood kind of slides back into a smaller role. So I guess it all kind of comes down to, are you playing the long game here? I would go with Samson if I'm doing that, like trying to catch lightning in the bottle. I mean, he did have great usage there. Hollywood is the pickup if you need some help immediately.
All right, let's go to that Persian guy, not a waiver queue. Great Persian restaurant here in Greenville, South Carolina, Tom. It's called Pomegranate on Main.
Okay.
Love the
I'll have to look. Next time I'm down at your place, you might have to go.
Not a waiver question, but would you sell high on Pearsall or McMillan plus filler to acquire either one of Nico or AJ Brown? McMillan, no. Pearsall, yes. I mean, now look, I have to sit here and tell you, I cannot overreact to 1 week with Nico Collins or AJ Brown, and then tell you, oh, you shouldn't trade Ricky Pearsall for him. Like, yes, I would prefer going after Nico because I preferred Nico in drafts this offseason, but like that, I would make that trade. I much prefer McMillan. I know Bryce Young didn't look all that great, but McMillan could get like 15 targets a week at this stage. Yeah,
I'd still have it. Nico, Brown, McMillan, Pearsall, if rest of the season. So, that's how I would do it. So if you can sell high on one of those guys and get a stud, it's probably worth doing.
Kyle Siebert audio. I double stacked Allen with Shakir and Coleman. Well done. I was down bad. Now I'm up 15 and I have the Bears defense and my opponent has Jefferson. Do you think I win? This is probably like 50-50 to me.
Yeah, he didn't let us know if it was a PPR or not because that was
Let's
half
just
a
presume
point.
PPR.
Yeah, the PPR. I do not think you're going to win.
Now, the good news is Christian Darrisaw
like
is not
60-40,
playing.
But
yeah, Christian Darrisaw is not playing, right? So maybe you get a sack or two in there. And JJ McCarthy could suck.
It's not. This is very tight. I'd probably put full PPR. I put it 55% the Jefferson team wins.
Dan Ald, half point PPR, 6 point per QB touch. And I have Lawrence and Drake May, and nervous they may not be as good as I hope. Should I go after Aaron Rodgers or Daniel Jones?
Well, I mean, I don't have an issue going after Daniel Jones. Trevor Lawrence looked like crap yesterday. I'm not like super optimistic about him. Drake May, I would not
Not
be
a better offense than Drake May, but
Yeah, I'd rather have Drake May. And if you want to see if he got something with Daniel Jones here, that's fine. Especially if he shows something against the Broncos this week, then I could start to buy into it a little bit. I'm not ready to throw him into a lineup in week 2 here, but I don't mind having both Drake May and Daniel Jones.
Is Booty a better pickup over Quentin Johnston? This is the ultimate question. Potential number 1 receiver on bad team or number 3 receiver on good team. Maybe the number 2 if you think Keenan Allen is still a little dusty, which he didn't look on Friday night.
Yeah, this is a really tough question. We do think that Chargers offense is going to be better overall, but I'd take a shot with Booty. Theo got me all screwed up on the podcast.
Yeah, it is Booty. It is.
I
Booty,
know.
yes.
I was like, have I been saying it wrong? So I'm just going to say it as Theo was saying it on our YouTube video that will be coming out tomorrow. But I'll go Booty. I'm not feeling great about this, but I still think Quentin Johnston's going to have his ups and downs as the season goes along.
Bin Win. Keep Kraft or pick up Fannin or Jawan? I'm keeping Kraft.
Oh, God, yeah. Kraft, some of the underlying numbers were pretty good. He like Luke Musgrave was a non-participant basically yesterday. Kraft like easily led them in routes. He was like at an 80% route share. The problem is the Packers just never throw the ball anymore. So, but I'd still want Kraft right now.
All right, let's go to FP early bird subscriber. Should I be freaking out about the following? Achan, Waddle, Downs, KW3. I am nuclear worried about the Dolphins. That was a non-competitive showing against a mediocre at best team. Now here's the problem. What are you going to get for these guys? I'll give Achan credit for that. Awesome.
That was an awesome touchdown.
Tom, we talked about it on the Best Bet show that's coming out tomorrow. The Dolphins are going to be a very sharp play this weekend, against the Patriots. Oh, they can't possibly be that bad. So
we're going to find out.
You're going to have to give it another week with these guys. Josh Downs, unfortunately, his route share was in the dirt.
I didn't see that.
And I think they just view him. I think they view him as just as good a football player as he is. They view him as a part-time player. Let's see.
Dang, here, Tom. 48%.
Oh, it was bad.
It
was bad.
No.
Yeah.
The game script totally got away from, not away, but away from passing the ball for much of the game. But Alec Pierce seeing significantly more snaps over him and routes over him is not a great sign. Honestly, that might be the guy I'm most concerned about then.
Yeah. These absolutely. Ken Walker. I have to rewatch that game, but every time I saw him, he was getting contacted in the backfield. The 49ers just seemed to dominate that offensive line. I want to give it a couple of weeks for that offensive line to gel. And I think that's why Charbonnet got a little more work. The more downhill stuff that Charbonnet's good at, they were able to create a little bit more as opposed to the slower developing stretch zone that Kenneth Walker's really good at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And, that's been the, Walker likes to dance a little bit. And that game called for, let's lower our head and just bull through the line. So that's unfortunately, we're probably, Charbonnet had a really good training camp and really good preseason. So it does feel like he's going to be a little bit more involved in this offense than we've seen in the past.
Dan Auld needs a tight end. Would you go after Juwan Johnson, the New Orleans tight end, or Fannin?
I really like Juwan Johnson's usage in week 1. He was on the field for all but one snap, but two terrible offenses here. But I'm going Fannin. I'm going with the rookie.
They obviously have a big plan for him.
Yeah, they have a plan for him. Juwan Johnson, we've seen flashes from him at times, but what are we in year 5 with Juwan Johnson or so? Some guys do come on later in their career, especially at the tight end position, but I'm going with the rookie here in Harold Fannin.
All right. Anil Kersey, PPR drop Andrews for Henry or Strange. 40 points for the Baltimore Ravens. Mark Andrews makes 1 catch.
Unbelievable. It was, I thought with Isaiah Likely out too.
And I thought the narrative, by the way, I feel like John Harbaugh's that kind of coach. You know, like, hey, Mark, come redeem yourself against this team. 1 catch for 5 yards. Who do you prefer, Henry or Strange? Because I don't know how confident I can be in Mark Andrews.
Oh, I know, but I just go back.
You just
to
don't.
them.
You're not doing it yet.
I'm not doing it yet. It comes, the tight end position. It's these guys are all going to be in like that. I look at props all the time, and they're always in that 30 to 40 yard range for props. But any given week, Andrews' upside and potential to score touchdowns is higher than Henry and Strange. So I always go back to that, and so I'd still rather have Andrews here. Suck it up for a couple more weeks. We saw this last year, got off to a really slow start, and then the touchdowns started coming in bunches in the second half of the season. So I'm sticking with Andrews here for at least another week.
Xavier says, full PPR, BTJ and DK Metcalf for O'Marion and JSN. Also start Dak or Mahomes next week. Let me tackle the quarterback question. I'm going to play Dak.
Yeah, Dak. Geez, I'm blanking. Who do they have? I know Mahomes has the Eagles. That's
I believe that the Cowboys have the Giants this week.
Yeah,
so I'm going to play Dak.
Yeah, let's go Dak for that one.
This is a very fair trade, by the way. If you really need a running back, I think O'Marion Hampton's going to be a lot better now. I know Jim Harbaugh came out and said Najee Harris was capped at 12 snaps. They drafted O'Marion Hampton in the first round. Okay, he's going to get work. If you need a running back, this is a fair trade. Otherwise, I'm staying put, Tom.
Yeah, that's if you're really hurting at running back, make the trade, get O'Marion Hampton. But Brian Thomas, that was not a fluke. Lawrence stinks, but he's going to have much better day. He's still saw 7 targets. DK's the only show in town in Pittsburgh, so give me BTJ and DK.
George is GOAT. Is down 30 with more Swift in the Viking defense. Am I going to be fine? Well, it depends on PPR or not. And it depends on if Diva Caleb is responding to coaching or not.
Yeah, more
Swift and the Viking D.
That's pretty. We're projecting more for a little bit of potential more work here now too with the running back situation. So
I'm going to say 55-45 he wins.
Yeah, I would definitely give him the advantage. I think Swift's going to be in that 12-point range. I think Moore is going to be pretty close to that too. So as long as the Vikings defense, he's going against Caleb Williams. So I'm expecting Minnesota to at least get like 3 sacks tonight. So let's give him the slight advantage here, 55% towards his team.
Cooper Van, how much fab would he spend on Kayshon Boutte? 10%.
Yeah, 5 to 10%. That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
because I could foresee a scenario next week when he catches 3 passes for 30 yards and Pop Douglas has 7 for 70. It might be that type of thing. Now, who would you rather have going forward, Pop Douglas or Boutte?
Boutte. Yeah, I think we've seen enough. Just even how many routes he was out in the field, and he flashed a little bit at the end of last season. That I want to shoot for that. Because Douglas is one of those guys, Joe. I mean, we talk about this all the time with the waiver wire. Like, he's one of those guys you can get off the waiver wire, plug him in. He'll get you 10 to 12 points, but probably not going to get you much more than that. And Boutte feels like one of those guys that can get you some, 16, 18-point games that, Douglas can't necessarily get. So I would want to shoot for the upside with Boutte.
Dan Old, 6 points per quarterback touchdown. Would you trade away Lawrence to acquire Fields?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lawrence, I mean, maybe.
Look, are you going to miss Trevor Lawrence is the question. Like, I look, again, week 1, you can't overreact, but I saw a lot of the same player we've been seeing for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way I look at it. Jay Hang, what RB would you trade BTJ for? I don't know. Who do you have? It's like,
and what?
Excuse me. He has BTJ. What running back would you trade him for? This is not a good time to trade BTJ right now.
Yeah, this is
people are going
not
to
the time.
After 1 week.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was led all rookies in receiving yards, and now 1 catch performance. You don't trade guys like that right now. This is the time that you look to be trying to buy those guys. So John Hanson will have a great trade article, I'm sure. As somebody that was very high on Brian Thomas, he's going to be featured in that article by the Guru.
Yeah, I mean, look, Trevor Lawrence was bad yesterday, but it's going to be better for Brian Thomas going forward.
Mhm.
With Brock Purdy injury, Pete asks, who is the best quarterback target for this week? Herbert, May, Penix, or Geno Smith? It has to be Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
It has to be. Let's like these are all guys ranked similarly. The most encouraging thing about Herbert was how much he took off and ran, in my opinion, from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah, and I was pretty encouraged that they kept throwing the ball a lot, as we saw at the end of last season too. So Herbert is the clear, at least a tier above these guys. Penix and Geno Smith, I still have them a tier below Drake May. So Herbert is the guy in this group right now.
All right, Bacon Kens. I was offered to trade Sutton for Rice and Hubbard. Do I take that trade? Please help. If you need a running back, I think it's really fair if you could fill that wide receiver spot for the next 5 weeks, because once Rashee Rice comes back, I think there's a really good chance he outscores Cortland Sutton. It's just a matter of who can you fill into that wide receiver spot. But if you need the running back, I mean, I would want to make this trade. If you in 3 weeks, you could be even 2-4. Like, I want to be better than that, but even in 3 weeks, you could be 2-4, and then you get Rashee Rice coming back, who I think Patrick Mahomes is going to have tunnel vision for when he comes back. I think I'd take this trade, Tom.
Yeah, this is not a no-brainer, but it's close. I mean, Hubbard still looked pretty good week 1, and that role we were kind of, it was one of those situations we were kind of watching with Rico Dowdle coming in there, but Chuba continued to kind of dominate the work there. So, I mean, even if this was just a Sutton for Hubbard trade, I'd kind of, like it if you're looking for a running back help, and getting Rashee Rice as like a throw onto this makes me want this trade.
FP early bird subscribe. How much fab on booty in non-PPR?
10%.
5 to 10, 5 to 10%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Soggy Danger with X Worthy Hurt. Would you flex Bill Krosky, Merritt, or Ibuka? And Emeka Ibuka should be in every lineup.
Yeah, that's
that's
after what we saw in week 1. Yeah, I know the matchup's gonna be a little tougher here against the Texans, but Ibuka's a must play every week right now.
Our boy Ern, what's up? Once upon a time, Ferguson or Fanning? Rest of the season, I'd say Fanning.
Oh, I'd go Ferguson.
He's just so boring.
He is, but he does put up numbers with Dak, and I think it's just going to be better moving forward here. I thought Dak played well, so it's close, but I'm going to give Ferguson the slight edge.
Jay Hang, this is actually a really good question. Dak or Fields week 2? Dak with a good matchup against the Giants, but not as good because their defensive line could give that offensive line trouble. Or Fields against Buffalo, who just gave up 40 to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I'm thinking going Fields.
Let's ride the hot hand, baby.
Yeah, let's ride the hot hand. I think they're going to run the ball pretty successful against the Bills. So yeah, let's go with Fields.
Mind you, I don't think this counteracts what we said earlier. In a 6-point per touchdown pass league, I still prefer Dak rest of season than Justin Fields. But let's try to ride that hot hand. Jonathan Santiago got offered Walker and Waddle for my Tyreek Hill. Take the deal? Yes. Tyreek has Antonio Brown walking off the field nude, spreading his butt cheeks.
And then you would have Waddle, the guy, if he does, spread his
or get traded to the Chiefs, which I think is like 20% chance of happening.
Yeah, that's very true. So yeah, Waddle. Let's take the Walker and Waddle side there.
Xavier, my running backs are Henderson and Cook. You think Hendo gets better rest of the season? Absolutely. Ramondre Stevenson was flopping around out there like a raw piece of fish. They have to use Travion Henderson more. He gives them explosive,
and that could be an adjustment we see in the next week or two. Like they do a self-assessment and they see that Ramondre is not giving them any juice, and obviously this offense needs a little bit. So, do you like Henderson over Cook? Cook looked really good last night.
I don't like Henderson over Cook.
Yeah.
I like Cook over Henderson, but
he just asked. Okay, if he gets better rest of the season.
Yeah. I don't think he needs.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Pearsall should swap out DK. I kind of liked what I saw. I like what I saw out of both of these guys, quite frankly.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what the quarterback situation is.
Yeah. You have to wait on that. Tom, I really don't want to take start-sit questions this.
It's hard.
For next week, especially when we're dealing with injuries. So,
but I will say, Pearsall, I think Mac Jones is going to give them at least baseline competency at the quarterback position. And if there's no Kittle, if there's no Jawan Jennings, maybe it is worth playing Pierce Hall again this week.
Jamie Craig, this is an impossible question to answer. I mean,
we haven't even seen Caleb and McCarthy. Oh.
I mean, my impression is the guy I was drafting first out of these was JJ McCarthy. But if he comes out and he goes 9 for 28 tonight, then if Caleb sucks too, then I'm going to say Lawrence.
All right, Joe, we can only answer this right now. It's obviously we don't know the future, but give me McCarthy. I'll go
McCarthy
Caleb,
is what I would say right now. What I would say, like, I have to lean into my pre-draft, pre-fantasy draft evaluation, and that would be JJ McCarthy. Justin Sorg, thoughts on Nico? He'll be fine.
Yeah, I do have bigger concerns about the Texans offense, but I think they'll find ways to get him the ball a little bit more often and create some quicker looks. I mean, they were kind of bracketing him, and it was a mess in week 1. And we do have to remember this was a first time play caller and Nick Caley, and so I hope they make some adjustments. But definitely at least a little bit scared here, Joe. This is an offensive line that had major issues last season. They blew it all up. I do worry about Stroud continuing to regress behind a very bad offensive line. So just a little bit concerned here.
No idea if this is a start sit question or just a trade question. Let's just say it's 50-50. Do you need the receiver? Do you need the running back?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of lean towards Kyren just based on what we saw again here with Sean McVay. Huge bell cow role for Kyren. We saw, Keenan Allen still commanding targets. We saw Quentin Johnston play pretty well. So I'll give Kyren the edge here.
All right, let's go. What's your primary strategy for guillotine leagues? How much fab are you willing to spend in the early weeks? And what do you do if a top 5 stud is available? Tom, I had a lot of success. I don't play in a guillotine anymore. We used to. I had a lot of success in that league. My entire focus was to try to float in the middle of the pack for as long as I possibly could. I would not be the guy busting my ass to get a stud early in the season, but I would try to get the number 2 receiver or something like that. Now, I'm not an expert on these, but that's just the strategy that I had a lot of success doing. I want to be middle of the pack. I don't want to be too dangerous towards the back end, but I wanted to be middle of the pack.
Yeah, and I'd also want to collect, top end players any chance I got. So, but sometimes that means spending a lot of fab early in the season. So I'd find a number that you're comfortable with. Say like Jamar Chase is one of these guys that's getting cut, maybe like 40 to 50%. You're probably not going to get them, but if the rest of your league kind of sucks and doesn't put in a decent enough bids, maybe you can sneak them out.
All right, Tom, here's what we're going to do now. We're going to go rapid fire. No explanations, really. We're just going to go. I've got to eat dinner and shower before the game tonight.
All right, let's do it.
Matt Grants, how comes guillotine leads don't get love from the FP staff? We don't have the manpower.
Yeah.
And by the way, and the problem with guillotine leagues is they're so custom that like your league is different than everybody else's guillotine league. Like Christian McCaffrey could have gotten dropped in a guillotine league this week, right? So like they're just really hard to analyze in my opinion.
Yeah, that might be something like next year we have a lot of brilliant.
We can do a pre-draft thing.
Exactly, a pre-draft and maybe just like general strategy guide for people that are interested. But it is so niche still. I mean, it is. It's less than probably 3% of the leagues that people are in for fantasy. So we can't spend too much time on that.
All right, Tom. I think I know your answer here. Half PPR and lost Kittle. Half PPR. Keep that in mind. Ertz, Ferguson, Strange, Johnny, or Jawan Johnson.
I go Ertz. I'd still like Ertz here. What do you like?
This is the skankiest trade I think I've ever seen on this channel, but I love it. Got offered Brashard Smith and Booty for Sean Tucker and Pat Bryant in Dynasty.
Oh my gosh.
I think I'd take the Booty side.
I'll take the booty. Give me the booty. Give me a little booty
Brashard
here.
Smith having a role in week 1 was kind of incredible.
Yeah, exactly. And Pacheco looks dusty, and Kareem Hunt is over the hill there. So give me Brashard Smith and booty there.
Dizzy Dice, Iamana or Jawan Jennings? I mean, it has to be Jawan Jennings.
Yeah,
unless he's really hurt.
Believe me, I like Iamana. I'm very excited about how he was used in week 1, but still give me Jawan Jennings.
Josh Rosen, glad he's found work and
All
still
right.
can love fantasy. Hello, I need to drop one of Woody Marks and Jalen Noel. Probably dropping Noel. Thoughts on Marks? They're probably going to need some dudes. I mean, I thought Chubb looked way better than I anticipated.
Yeah, we'll see if that continues. But
yeah, I think I'd probably drop Noel of these guys.
Yeah, Noel's the top, but honestly, both guys are very droppable if there's multiple good options out there.
I know your answer to this one, T-Bro, because you said it earlier. Have Mark Andrews. Should I panic, drop him for Fannin or Jawan Johnson? I think we need to give him another week.
Yeah, I'd give another. They 19 attempts. They were. I mean, the offense was pretty basic last night. It was either hand it to Derrick Henry or threaten to hand it to Derrick Henry and throw it to Zay Flowers in one-on-one opportunities.
And it worked. So why would they stop doing it? Right.
Exactly. So at some point they're going to take away one of those guys, and Andrews is going to have to be the third option in that offense.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for whatever the hell we're calling this. Starting final points, final starting points, final starting points. I kind of like that one. And for early waiver wires, guys, we're going to be doing this every Monday night. We might have
and Thursdays.
I think we have to move it up, Tom, next week.
Oh God. my schedule is already so compressed on Mondays, and then we have 2 football games to watch.
All right, Turgay Kaglar. Vikings or Bears tonight? I'm going to go with the Vikings.
I'm on the Vikings. I think I gave out -1.5 in the ATS every game on the board. So
we are going to see exactly what if that Caleb Williams hit piece from Ty Dunn, if that motivates him. I am excited for tonight, and that's why we got to get the hell out of here, T-Bro.
Enjoy the game.
Enjoy the game, everybody. Every Monday night, every Thursday night, like an hour and a half before kickoff, we'll do this. I think we have to move it next week. Good friend Trey behind the glass, so we can watch the games on Monday Night Football with the doubleheader. See you, everybody. Have a good one.
What? Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome.